imagine you're shopping for some clothes. You come onto your website, there's a chatbot there. You can ask a question, get any answer you want instantly. It can pack you a travel wardrobe and deliver that to your inbox with everything that you'll need for the trip. Also, what it can do is it can find the perfect fabric for you and also recommend you a gift. This is by far the craziest sales chatbot that I've built, and I'm sure you guys are going to love it. In 2025, pretty much every single e-commerce company is using an AI chatbot. And don't get me wrong, AI customer support chatbots are great, and I myself, running an AI agency, have built loads, and they have delivered some serious results, saving hundreds of thousands of pounds per year for some of my clients. But I asked myself this question quite a while ago: is there a way to make a customer support chatbot that could also generate sales? And the answer to that question is yes, and I've got a perfect example that I want to show you guys today. So this AI assistant is called Ellie from Luxora Trends. Now, Luxora Trends is essentially a fictional e-commerce fashion company that I use for some projects and demos. Now, what I have done is I've made this assistant based on that company, so these are not real products. This is not a real company. I do not want to, get the wrong message going out here. But essentially, you can imagine this chatbot is going to be on the e-commerce store. So here's an example of what some of these customer support chatbots look like. They're simply just a little widget in the corner, and it is an assistant that pops up. I can pretty much help with anything. Now, this is one that we built for one of our clients, Herrera Halal Pet Foods. They sell halal pet foods. I've made a video in this project before, so this is a very similar concept to that. But the difference is here is there's multiple options. Not only can you ask a question, you can pack my travel wardrobe, find my perfect fabric, and also shop for a gift. Now, the idea of these sort of like lead magnets are to essentially provide the lead with value up front in exchange for their personal details. Now, the reason that this is so good is because it can be used for retargeting or email marketing purposes. Now, obviously, I'm not an expert on e-commerce or how I'm telling you guys to do your marketing. I'm absolutely not. I'm simply saying if you can get more email addresses and more data of the people who are interested in your products, then that's definitely going to be a plus. So essentially what this does is you can come on here and, for example, I'll say pack my travel wardrobe. So just to immerse you in this sort of scenario, imagine you're coming on, you're shopping for clothes, you click this, and it can basically recommend you a bag based on how many days you're going, how many, what sort of like trip it is. Is it a business trip? Is it like just a big piss up with the lads, whatever it is? And it can tailor the recommendation to you, but also throw in some products. And I'll show you what I mean now. Okay, so a couple of questions it's going to ask is going to say, let's plan for your perfect travel wardrobe. Where are you off to? So I'm going to say Romania here. Okay, and then it's going to ask how many days are you away for, so it can sort of gauge how many pieces of clothing it will need to recommend you. So now it's going to ask what kind of mood are you going for on this trip? Relaxed, polished, bold. I'm going to say bold, why not? So what kind of activities are you going to be planning on doing? So dinner dates, sightseeing, hiking, or anything else? I'm going to say that this is going to be a business trip. And it's asking for the weather, so I'm just going to say it will be sunny whilst I'm there to keep things very simple. Okay, so it's just going to ask, what sort of colors do you want whenever you're going on this holiday? So I'm just going to say white and beige, pretty simple. Okay, so now it's going to say, how do you identify, how old are you, and what size do you usually wear? So I'm just going to say 19, male, medium. And this is actually like a real trip that I went on. So we did sort of go on a business retreat to Romania, and I'll actually be interested to see what clothing items it recommends me. So now it's going to ask for your email, so let me just fire that in. So agency, efficacyi.co.uk, and then it should ask for my name. Beautiful. And Finlay. So let's go ahead and fire it in. Okay, so Ellie has came back to me. She said, thank you. I've got everything I need to create your perfect time capsule. I'm creating your wardrobe now. And I know there was a lot of cuts there, but I just wanted to fly through it. And I want to keep this video short and sweet as possible and not ramble on. And then essentially it will prompt you, give you some other options, find my perfect fabric, shop for a gift, or ask a question. So I guess I can just go here and ask a couple of questions. Okay, so I've just went and hit ask a question, and then said, what is your refund policy? And you can see it's came back with everything that I need to know about the refund policy. And all we need to do now is just wait, and our travel wardrobe will be generated in our inbox. There'll be a PDF and everything in just a second. And also as well, there's other aspects. So find my perfect fabric. Let's check this out, and I'll quickly fire this in. Okay, so I'm currently just being asked quite a lot of questions here to find the perfect fabric. So sort of things it's asking is, does certain materials irritate your skin? What sort of, weather do you dress for? That kind of thing. So I'm just flat firing through this. So you can see like it's asking for what sort of activities are you doing, are you working at home? So as you can see, the bot's just asking loads of questions. So what sort of materials irritate your skin, where are you, what's the climate like, that sort of thing. And the user just fills this out, and then it will generate a really, really personalized report. So how important is eco-friendliness? I'll just say not important, it isn't. And then all of this information is going to be used to generate the report. What's your typical budget range? So I'll say 100 pounds, pretty low budget. It's asking for my name, so I'll just say Finlay, and then it'll say email address .co.uk. So there's my email address, fire that in, and then yeah, it will be generating the report. And now I think I got the email. So yes, hi Finlay, your wardrobe for Romania has been made. So we can see we just got this 2 minutes ago. Your Luxora travel capsule awaits, and obviously you're going to want to brand this up, make it look much nicer. But the point is here, I've just kept it simple because we don't have like a load of brand guidelines for Luxora trends. But basically what it's been able to do is to decipher how many days you're going, exactly what you'll need. So 5 distinct professional outfits, 3 tops, 2 tank tops, 1 button up, 2 bottoms, etc. And now it's basically linked all of the outfits from Luxora Trends. Now these actually aren't the images because obviously there isn't a website, there aren't any products, but it'd be very simple to just get the image URLs, add them in, and we'll jump all into this in a second on the back end. I'll show you how this is all made. But yes, very cool. We've got a summary and a call to action, and then we have everything in a PDF just to make everything easily accessible, easy to send, easy to save, that sort of thing. So you guys get the picture here. Essentially what there is there's different paths, okay? And these paths provide the user with some sort of value that's automatically generated by AI, as you've just seen, okay? And in this process, in order to get the free value, the chatbot needs to collect data, and this data is going to be very helpful for you guys if you're an e-commerce owner, to be able to like find out more about your potential customers, target them better, make your email campaigns a lot more personalized, that whole kind of thing. So this is incredibly powerful, and all you really need to do is add their email to a newsletter, add it to some sort of CRM or repository. Okay, yes, and I've just received the fabric recommendation, so 0 minutes ago. Hi Finlay, let's explore the perfect fabrics for you. Cotton jersey. So the characteristics are breathable, soft, stretchy, and lightweight. And if you remember the ones that I put in, I also said like I like natural sort of materials. I'm working from home, so I'm going to be lounging. Bamboo rayon, so it's cheap. Characteristics: silky, soft, cooling, that kind of thing. So it is all very personalized. We can see there's a fabric comparison snapshot. Very cool. And then obviously you can make this look much better. You've got your Instagram, you've got it's even done the copyright, which is class. You've got the unsubscribe, view in browser, so loads of call to actions, really good. And you can imagine if you're getting hundreds of visitors a day, how powerful this will be. Now anyway, enough of that. What we can do now is we can jump in and I'll show you how I built this. Okay, so the main brain behind this solution is built on VoiceFlow, and what I have done for you guys is I have made this sort of cheat sheet / development blueprint to how you can build one of these chatbots. It basically has everything about the structure. We've got in-depth explanations of the different things that I built, but obviously I'm going to be walking through it in this video. I've got the templates down here at the bottom for make.com, basically just showing you, how these things are actually made, data passing through from the webhook, Claude's generating the output, putting it into a PDF and sending it to the user. So it's all very simple. And what I'll do now is I'll dive into this, and this will be in our free learning center. So if you head to the description, you can head to our learning center completely for free, get access to this. So yeah, let's jump into the setup. And if you guys don't know what VoiceFlow is, I can say with confidence it is the best chatbot building software out there. It's absolutely incredible. I've been using it since as long as AI has been accessible through API. I've been using this. So I'm good friends with the team at VoiceFlow. I'm also an affiliate partner, so if you want some free tokens, head down to the description, use my affiliate link, and obviously I get paid for that, so I really appreciate you guys using it. So yeah, that's the tool that we're going to be using to build this chatbot. So I've got this massive document that I just use for the knowledge that I've imported. It's entirely generated by ChatGPT, but it is pretty similar to what you would get from scraping a website. So the first step that you're gonna have to do is go and get your knowledge, or you can just add your sitemap or add the URLs in that are important from your website. That's all you'll really need. Come in here, URL, sitemap, map them in, and then you're good to start building this chatbot. And don't be overwhelmed by everything that you see here. There may already be some workflows in here. You just want to delete that. Everything's very simple. And as well, if you want to just reach out to me, I can give you some advice and sort of like walk you through different parts that are difficult. But basically what we've got going on here is we've got workflows, which is where we're going to be building on the canvas. We've got knowledge, where we've just talked about agents, which is what we're going to be using. I'll get into that, and you don't really need to worry about anything else. It's only just workflows clothes, knowledge, and agents. Okay, so don't overcomplicate it, don't get overwhelmed. Very, very simple. Okay, so now we're in. So the first module or the first node is essentially an intro, which is a very basic message where you can just basically paste the text that you want to show up. So if I hit run, the first thing that we're going to see is welcome to Luxora, I'm Ellie, and you see this is pretty much just been pasted in here. Okay, so very, very simple. And we're just going to paste a message, something similar to this in, and then we're going to have some buttons so we can essentially have the intents of the user. We can find out where the user wants to go, what they would like. And the first thing is going to be ask a question. And obviously this is very, very simple. This will literally take 2 minutes. I'll show you guys how to do that. And the other ones are going to be pack my travel bag. So you just want to come here to listen, drag in buttons, and then basically just add these different buttons in, and they will show a little path. You could drag it to wherever you want it to go, and you're going to want to add 4 separate agents. Okay, so we can see for each button, very simple: ask a question, pack my travel wardrobe, find my perfect fabric, shop for a gift. And these all have corresponding agents. Okay, so you're going to have to add 4 agents in, and I'll show you exactly what to do. So whenever you load up the first agent, which is going to be the customer support specialist, which is essentially the path where you're asking a question, what you're going to want to do is probably just leave. VoiceFlow will have like a template for an agent. So if I come here, drag an agent in, new agent, you can see VoiceFlow have templates, so customer support specialist. So you just click that and it will pretty much give you a good prompt. You won't really need to play around with anything. And then all you could really do if you want to make it a bit better is just add paths. So if the user is asking a few questions and then they say, okay, I'm maybe interested in getting a travel bag packed, then what you could do is you could basically just add this and describe it to the LLM. So this is a path. The path name is get a travel bag picked. The LLM description is trigger this path when the user would like to get a free travel bag / wardrobe builder, and then it will detect that the user wants that and basically just send them down here. So this is really, really simple. All you need to do is just ensure that it has access to the knowledge base. That's very simple, because all you need to do is just press this button, and then VoiceFlow will load up this prompt, the one that I just showed you, and you're literally good to go. That's it. That's how you can get instant responses from the knowledge base. Now this is where things get a little bit fun. So we've got the first one, which is the wardrobe builder. Okay, and this one is essentially asking a series of questions to get information from the user, and then calling the knowledge base. So based off the user's their destination, how many days they're going for, it will take this information, query the knowledge base, pull back relevant products from the catalog that match that text, and then we're going to basically post all of this to make.com. And in make.com, we're going to have Claude basically analyze the text, generate the wardrobe, format it with HTML, chuck it into a PDF, and email it to the user. And then what you can do is you can add it to MailChimp or whatever email marketing software that you're using. You just want to slap that in there. Or what you can also do is just add a Google Sheets module. But obviously, I want to keep this video short, so I don't want to go into all this much detail. So I'll sift through this very quickly. Okay, so the first one, you're Ellie, the friendly AI travel stylist for Luxora Trends. And obviously, all of this stuff is in here, so don't worry, I won't blabber on too much about it. But essentially, we're just capturing these variables, okay? So as you can see, to proceed to make.com, so to query the knowledge base and send this information through, we need certain amounts of information from the user. You can see this little path down here. In order for the logic to flow this direction towards make.com, we're going to need to pass through this path, as you can see right here, this little path going up here. And in order to pass through this path, we need to basically collect these variables. So as you can see, these are required variables. So we need the email, trip duration, location, etc., etc. So the user has to answer these questions before we can proceed. Okay. So you're going to want to prompt that in, and you're going to want to basically just say, once you get the answers from these questions, go down the path, proceed to make.com. And obviously, depending on the value that your lead magnet's going to be providing, the questions are going to change. So for example, if you were providing a, I don't know, like check if this shoe fits your foot, you could be like, what size is your shoes? I don't know, stuff like that. You get what I'm trying to say. The questions are going to be different. So you're just going to want to make a variable that corresponds to the answer of each one of these questions. So for example, we have this question, perfect, can I get your email so I can send you your personalized packing plan? Then you're going to want to create a variable called email so we can store dynamically the result of this question, the answer of this question. And we're just going to repeat that process for all of the questions. And once you've got all the variables added in, you're ready to query the knowledge base. So you basically just want to come here, add a KB search step, and then the query or the question is going to be something along the lines of this. I am looking for some Luxora clothes based off this. I'm going to trip location for trip duration days. So once all the variables are made, the agent is set up, you're going to want to query the knowledge base with the variables, in other words, the outputs that we've got from that first agent. So the question is going to be something like this. I'm looking for some Luxora clothes based off this. I'm going to location for X amount of days, these activities, the weather will be like this, I am gender, age, size, you get the picture. And what it's going to do is it's going to take all the results, all the values of these variables, and find some clothes that are essentially corresponding to those variables, if that makes sense. And what we're doing now is we're basically getting all of this stuff so we can send it to Claude alongside the suggested outfits. So we're basically querying the knowledge base and we're saving the chunks to this variable. So we've got this new variable called suggested Luxora outfits, and we're going to send that to Claude. So, okay, so here's the user, here's some information about them, here's where they're going, here's some suggested outfits. Create a complete wardrobe or travel bag. And then what you're going to want to do whenever you've basically set up this agent, you've basically built it so it can get all the information that you need. What you're going to want to do is set up an API post, and you're going to want to put the URL, just the webhook URL from make.com. So you want to add a new webhook module and then test it so we can get all of the variables in here. So boom, this is the one that I ran earlier on in the video. And once we have this data storage or a data formation in, then we can proceed to Claude to get it to generate the output. And then obviously you just want to add the data in the body as all the variables. So you just want to come in here. So for example, email would be email, and then down here you're going to want to map in the variable, which would obviously be the email variable. And then we're onto the Claude module. So essentially what we're doing here is we're passing all the information that we got from VoiceFlow, and we're saying you're Ellie, the intelligent AI travel stylist for Luxora Trends. And essentially just telling you your task is to turn the user's trip details into a complete mix and match travel capsule wardrobe. And we're saying here's chunks of the knowledge from Luxora catalog. Use this to feed in some outfits to your output, okay? So essentially what we're doing here is we're feeding in all the information that we got from VoiceFlow, and we're essentially just saying, okay, make me a travel wardrobe, Claude. You know exactly what to do. You're smart, you're AI, just tell me what it is, and it will generate it, but it will also recommend some outfits from the product catalog, which is the key part, because obviously we don't want to be recommending them other bits of clothing from another e-commerce company, just sending them to our competitors. That would be stupid. So we get some suggested outfits from the knowledge base, which we can see here because we're querying the knowledge base, and then that will essentially create us the wardrobe, but it's going to look absolutely hideous. We're going to need to format it with HTML, so that's exactly what we do here. So we basically call 3.7 Sonnet, 15,000 tokens. Okay, I want you to make this look absolutely stunning. So you say you're Ellie, the intelligent AI travel stylist, blah blah blah, but you're just saying a visually stunning HTML email. So essentially this one we're just telling it, okay, so just a quick recap, let's run it back a second. So we're getting the information from VoiceFlow, we're sending it to Claude so it can generate the wardrobe, we're sending it to Claude again just so the outputs are separated so it's a bit better. Saying, okay, here it is, format it, make it look lovely. That's where we get it to look like this, like really really neatly formatted, okay? So down here, that's where we get it to look like this. So yeah, so then we fire it into a PDF. So I'll show you, for example, what an example output would be like. So it's just a load of code. You don't even have to worry what this means. I don't even know well, I do sort of know what it means, but you don't have to worry about what it means at all, okay? All we need to do is just get this text output, chuck it into an HTML, because we're converting HTML to PDF, and that's why the PDF is going to look stunning, because it is just beautifully generated HTML by Claude, okay? And do not use ChatGPT for generating HTML, because it is nowhere near as capable as Claude, okay? That's one thing I will say. And once we have the HTML, we're going to just simply come over here and email it to the user. So we're going to say, hi, name from VoiceFlow, your wardrobe for Romania, like the example I filled in, has been made, HTML, and here is the text response from the Claude that is formatting the HTML, and as well we've got the PDF here. So essentially all you want to do is come on here, convert type is going to be HTML to PDF, map in the HTML, and it'll turn it into a PDF, and then you can just come here, add an attachment, and then it'll just automatically map it in. Very, very simple. And then obviously I'm not going to go into detail about adding it to a mailing list or Google Sheets. That's all really simple. There'll be loads of other tutorials online. I mainly want to keep this focused about the lead magnets. So the other one is very, very simple. It's just another agent that has a number of variables that need filled. It has questions that the user can ask. And then once these variables get filled in, we're coming over here, we're posting it to make.com. And instead of us having the knowledge base being queried, we're literally just having Claude generate it, because we don't really need to call the knowledge base unless there are fabrics, which Luxora has, but obviously there isn't any. So it's more just like a helpful little guide, okay? So this is very, very similar to the last one. We're just mapping everything in. We're saying, okay, please generate me a lovely fabric recommendation based off the user inputs. We're mapping in the variable. We've got another webhook. We've got another prompt that is formatting it with HTML, and we're chucking it into a PDF. we're emailing it to the user again. All very, very simple stuff. And for the gift recommender, this one is super simple. It doesn't call make.com. All it does is ask some questions, fills these variables. So if you want to call make.com and maybe add it to a Google Sheet or something for some analytics, then you can absolutely do that. But essentially what's going on here is it is just asking some questions, and the agent will generate the recommendation within the chat. So it's not colormake.com, nothing will go to email. So these two ones here, the travel bag, which you can see is color coded pink, is the main one which will be collecting data, and the fabric recommendation as well, that's the other one will be collecting a decent bit of data as well. So all very, very simple. I apologize if I were to go into a lot of depth and do a full step-by-step tutorial, it would take me probably like 3 hours, and I don't think that would be really worth anyone's time because this is just so specific. That's the annoying thing. I couldn't really make one that was, you know, universal, that everyone could use. But if you guys have an e-commerce store and you would like me to build some similar sort of AI sales chatbots, please drop a comment and I can check them out. I can make another example company, and then I can make another example chatbot similar to Ellie, and I can show you guys exactly how to do that. I can create templates, I can make it all very, very easy to help you guys get more sales and make more money. So that's pretty much it, guys. What I'll do is I'll quickly go through one last recap of everything that you need to do. The first thing that you want to do is you want to get a knowledge base of your business. In other words, a big document, or you can just get the sitemap or get a big list of URLs, and you're going to want to come into VoiceFlow and add it into the knowledge section, add data source. If it's a file, upload the file. If it's URLs, upload the URLs. If it's sitemap, you guessed it, upload the sitemap. Come in, create a new workflow, and you're going to have a nice intro node. Just get ChatGPT to generate this. Don't beat around the bush. Don't try to type it. Don't work too hard, but you can just get AI to do it for you, which is my whole thing. And then come create another agent. Basically get the agent and just import the pre-made customer support template the VoiceFlow will have. It'll show up here, but obviously I've already made this agent. I would just stick to the VoiceFlow one. It's probably a bit better than mine. Yeah, once you've got that, basically just allow it to access the knowledge base. So allow it to access the knowledge base, very, very simple. And just like that, you've got a customer support agent done. And then for the travel bag, you want to create an agent, and based on the outcome or the deliverable that you want, find some questions that correspond to it, create the new variables, add a path within the agent, add a quick path within the agent, and say, if you need these variables to proceed down this path, okay? And if you don't have these variables, then don't go. Get all the information, query the knowledge base based on the information of the questions with the agent, post it to make.com. Once you're in make.com, get Claude to analyze it and to generate the actual report, format it with HTML, stick it into a PDF, and then email it to the user. And you're just mapping in here the email address of the user, boom, boom, boom. Same for the fabrics, get the questions, get the variables, get the outputs of the questions, post it to make.com, same sort of thing, you guessed it, get the output, format it, PDF, email it to the user, boom, 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 and then we're all good. And then this is just like so you can revert back. So thank you, I've got everything I need. Is there anything else I can help you with? And then just more buttons, okay? Super, super, super simple. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be everything for the AI sales chatbot. I hope this was valuable. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're able to see the possibilities of what some of these AI chatbots can do. If you're looking for something like this, if you own an e-commerce company and you're looking for help setting this up, feel free to get in contact with me in the description, because obviously I own an AI. You can see we've done loads of different solutions like this before, dozens similar to this, so I have no doubt that we will be able to help you out. Or if not, you can just come to the Learning Center and check out this file and give it a go at making it yourself. And if you need any help, shoot me an email and I should be able to help you build it. But that's going to be pretty much everything, guys. If you find this video helpful, and if you want to see more sort of videos like this, then please consider subscribing, dropping a like. I would seriously appreciate it. And just to remind you, there is that affiliate link, so if you want some free tokens on VoiceFlow, then head down to the description. I would also sincerely appreciate that. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.